Welcome again to another session of instruction and information about the body and yoga. I was just looking in Helen's studio this morning and I just happened to find a couple of interesting things that I can use to help us teach and help us understand. And this is just a skeleton of the knee, showing the patella and the ligaments that are crossing on each side and crossing through the bones. And here we have the meniscus. So these are the things we're looking at. But what we're looking at is really the bone itself. And these things are there to hold the body together. See, this is connected from one of the tibia bones, fibula and tibia, connecting to hold it onto the bottom part of the leg. We have the ligaments going across in between the bones. This is to stop it from twisting too much to the side. And understanding ligaments have very little movement. They're not muscles. Where muscles can extend, ligaments should not extend. They're basically our last resort before something breaks, so they become very strong. They can move a little bit, but we're not meant to stretch them. Hence, if you overstretch them, you tear them, then there's all sorts of problems. But what it's going to allow us to see is that the movement this way, forward and backwards, is the movement we can get very easily. And you can see the shape in here, how it's smooth and is actually slides across. And when people have knee problems, this gets very porous and bumpy or grows bones and it hinders the movement. But in a good healthy knee, it's just sliding forwards and backwards. And this is the movement it's supposed to do. We walk forwards and backwards. If you see from the side, there's very little movement. It doesn't allow us to bend sideways. So we're not meant to do that. And the shape of a bone is not shaped to do that. It's not meant to do this, twist a little bit, but not much. Again, ligaments are going to be a problem. And again, if we're twisting too much, if we put too much pressure on one side of the meniscus, we could rupture the meniscus. So again, all these things are problems that can occur in the knees and happen quite often in yoga practices, because we're trying to do something that our body is not capable of doing at the moment, or our body shape doesn't allow us. And quite often that's the problem, is trying to come to lotus and lift. And as I'm lifting, I'm putting all the pressure here, which is this movement, trying to lift this way, and then you tear or you compress the meniscus. So this is the problem. Again, somebody trying to do something they're not capable of doing, which is quite common in the West because we're not used to sitting on the floor. We do everything sitting down. From baby, very young age, we start to walk. The next thing you know, our people are sitting us on the little toilets, up and down. So we learn to sit on the toilet, sitting. In Asia, quite often they squat on the toilet. There's no toilet seat, you squat. Very soon we're learning to sit at the table, or sit on a chair to watch television, sit on a chair to read a book, sit on a chair in school. So all our movement is just up and down, one direction. But when you have to sit on the floor, then your legs turn sideways. And then you keep freedom, the opening in the hips. So the hips remain open, and that's what we want to be aware of. So if we understand this movement, which is important to understand, the movement of the knee is just forwards and back. What I'll do when I'm teaching this posture, and what I'm actually doing in my posture now, is I'm not taking the leg out this way and coming in. I actually just allow it to lift. And when I'm lifting, as I explained in the postures, I use my hand to lift so I don't engage the quadricep. I don't want this muscle to activate, and that'll activate. As soon as I lift the leg, it'll activate. It'll actually engage the groin, tighten around the knee, so I'm already going and bending the leg with resistance. Whereas if I hold the leg, I keep everything relaxed and soft, and I bring the heel back as far as I can. So I've just bent the leg straight back. Place it in position, whoops, poor fella, in position, and then I make sure I even keep the ankle bone as firm, as stable as I can, because if I turn the foot this way and pull it. Already I'm starting to create compression in this meniscus and pressing and closing it together and overstretching this side. So I pull this compresses, this overstretches, and I pull the leg back, already strained the knee. So if I come back here, I stabilize the foot. I actually hold the ankle bone or just the foot, the heel of the foot, and then the movement comes here. I just let the leg rotate at the hip joint. So now I'm working this joint. That's all I'm working. This is stabilized, this is stabilized. So the only movement is going to happen here. And then I'll try and release this a little bit by reaching, taking the foot out that way and then down. So that's the movement I'll create to get half lotus or any of the other bending. Even Janu Shirshasana, I come this way and let the leg go down. So that's the movement I want. If you don't have open hips, maybe this is what's going to happen. Maybe you get to here, then you get to here, and then there's a block. Again, you can help by trying to reach and go down. Be aware that once it's in the ground, in the air, it's not supported. And as soon as it's not supported and it's in the air, the groins will engage and contract, so it doesn't go down too far and damage the knee. So the groins are actually going to try and protect the knee by not allowing you to get it down. So actually you want to release the groin, which you can do by grabbing hold of the knee and just lifting up. As you lift, the groin releases. Then you would reach out and press up with the hand and a little bit more with the knee and go down, again, just as far as you can without forcing anything. And from there, if I had the situation there, then you would get something to put underneath. You go down as far as you can and then place a blanket or a cotton, a wooden block. You place something under the knee to support it. So now you have foundation. So this is important, that you have a grounding. And from this grounding, you can actually create the force, the chi, to actually lift, the energy to actually stand up and go forward. But if this is in the air and you create that same movement, this is going to be forced down and it's going to put too much pressure on the knee. So very important that you maintain it, that you support it. If you don't have any blankets or anything, keep your hand there. Keep lifting it up to go down. Okay, don't let it. We have a term, the drip effect. So simply we have a bucket and a drip of water comes in, drop, drop, drop. It may take a long time, but eventually it's going to overflow the bucket. And same thing here. You're going to keep pushing, 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 and eventually it's just going to burst. So be very careful. It may not happen straight away. It may take many months, many weeks, many months for that injury to occur. So be careful. Take precautions. First, understand movement is forward and back. Relax and allow the hip to release. Okay, so this is for knees. Thank you. See you again.